welcome to Leeds Hacks News. It's Thursday the 15th of December and I'm Joe Byrne.
And I'm Lottie Brooke. Here are today's headlines.
There has been a scientific breakthrough as a woman has given birth to a baby from a prepubescent frozen ovary.
Cybercrime is expected to rise exponentially over the festive period. We've got some invaluable advice.
Are you working this Boxing Day? Companies face unhappy staff that want the day off on the infamous day of sales. A remarkable scientific breakthrough has been made thanks to researchers at the University of Leeds.
A 24-year-old became the first woman to have a child using the ovaries frozen by the university before she went through puberty. Fatima Banglawala reports.
The University of Leeds used their research in fertility preservation to store ovaries from a prepubescent girl. Moza Al-Matrushi was the first woman to successfully give birth after having her ovaries frozen at the age of just 9 years old. The process is called ovarian tissue cryopreservation.
Right, so this is a breakthrough for two reasons. First of all, the case that we're talking about, the young lady this week, she is, to our knowledge, the first example of a woman who has got pregnant and given birth to a healthy baby, having had her ovarian tissue frozen when she was a child, so before puberty. So she was only 9 years old, she was prepubertal when she had her tissue frozen. So that's a first. So there have been no children born after prepubertal ovarian tissue freezing, so it's a first in the world. The second time she's a first in the world is that she's the first beta thalassemia patient who's been treated with fertility preservation techniques. More commonly, it's been the cancer patients.
Leeds has been at the forefront of fertility research since 1999.
Right.
Why Leeds is such an important part of this process.
Ovarian tissue preservation started in Leeds with Professor Roger Gosden, who worked in Leeds a few years ago. So he developed the idea, the philosophy behind ovarian tissue freezing. It combines ovarian biology with cryobiology, the biology of cold temperature and freezing cells. So he put the advances in reproductive biology together with the advances in cryobiology and developed and tested the protocols that we now use for ovarian tissue freezing. And he did that work here in Leeds. So the work on ovarian tissue freezing has continued. He's now left. He's retired, in fact. So the work here has continued researching this general area for fertility preservation for young patients, and particularly young cancer patients, and young women like Moza, who we heard about in the news this week.
This is Fatima Banglawala for Leeds Hacks News.
Now on to a new crackdown by Leeds City Council on taxi services.
The council plan to make getting a taxi this Christmas in Leeds as safe as possible by using new measures and enhanced CCTV to track unlawful taxi practices. I went into the city to find out more. Leeds City Council plan to use enhanced CCTV to make taxi driving practices safer this Christmas. Leeds cabbies gave us their view on the new measures.
If you actually go down to the Leeds City Station, you'll notice there's vehicles coming from out of town. There's Kirklees, Rosendale, all parts of Yorkshire. In fact, today I've seen a vehicle from Moseley, which is somewhere near Liverpool, I believe, who's working in Leeds, and they're not licensed in Leeds.
Because there's a lot of people coming from outside to work in Leeds, from different councils like Bradford, Kirklees, Wakefield. So if it should be for everyone then, not just for only Leeds Plated Council.
Leeds City Council have stepped up enforcement of private hire and hackney carriage vehicles this Christmas. This is to make taxis safer and to stop illegal practices such as unlawfully parking, causing traffic congestion and people hailing private hire vehicles.
People are aware that it's all black and white hackney carriages that they're supposed to be hailing, yet still they hail the private hire, but the private hire just pull up, pick up and go. The private hire know they shouldn't be picking up, but they still do it. And on many occasions it's been, we've videoed, we've given video evidence to Leeds City Council, they've done nothing about it.
Councillor James Lewis, Executive Member for Strategy and Resources, said, "There has been increased concern for public safety due to severe traffic congestion and unlawful parking, as well as plying for hire activity at a number of locations, aggravated more recently with a sharp rise in the number of licensed vehicles from outside the Leeds area who are operating within the city. Joe Byrne, reporting for Leeds Hacks News. The number of cybercrimes has been increasing with the growing number of technologies being introduced in today's world. Christmas time sees a particular peak in this activity, with vulnerable shoppers and small business owners being targeted. This report from Anam Azim.
Nearly 6 million cybercrimes have taken place last year, with 1 in 10 people being affected by this trend. Christmas time and New Year sees a particular rise in this trend, with small businesses and people shopping online being the main targets for criminals. So why do the numbers keep rising?
Been rising in the past decades, and this has several reasons there. Much more information is available online and is accessible through the internet, and people also have a lot of personal information there. Many business transactions are done through online means, and so there is always a risk of that these data are being jeopardized and are being hacked into. And there are, of course, always increasing measures there, but the hackers are keeping up with that and are working towards finding loopholes. And with every new software that's been installed, there is of course an increase in security, but there's also a risk of another bug in there which can be exploited. And so this is a race that is not yet decided who will win. We hope that always the security people are ahead of time, but hackers often find loopholes to go through. And now, especially this time of the year, Christmas is of course an increase there because many more transactions are being done, and possibly there can be some vulnerability being exploited by hackers.
So, with the figures ever rising, what are some of the ways people can do to stay safe online?
If you Google protection against cybercrime, that's what I do, because under this uniform I'm a human being and I won't know no different either. So the first thing I do is I go to the internet. However, if you do, you must be careful, because there'll be companies asking you to register with them to protect yourself against cybercrime, and bottom line is there'll be criminals, or they might ask for a small fee and you might think, well, for £1 I'll do that. And once they've got your details, they might just totally empty your bank account. So it's always use caution, but I would look at blogs, things like that, reviews on certain things, and if they're genuine, that's fine. But the internet, as strange as it sounds, is probably the best place to get advice on cybercrime.
So make sure you keep an eye out for cybercriminal activity. This is Anna Mazim reporting for Leeds Hacks News.
The Kirkstall Community Flood Hub has opened to attempt to tackle further devastation from flooding for businesses in the area.
Floods in December last year caused some businesses to close for up to 6 months. Leeds City Council are hoping this new initiative will help locals in the future. Josh Shafi reports.
Following the devastating floods last January, the Kirkstall Hub team opened their doors to provide homeowners and small business owners with advice on the floods.
The Team Kirkstall Hub here, which opened officially on Monday, is a way of kind of connecting businesses and residents in the area to be able to express themselves, get help, feel supported, and kind of give Kirkstall a bit of an identity following the floods last year, which were devastating for many people. Having an experience of flooding before, so people were taken by surprise. Not much you can do when the water levels rise to a certain level as it did last year. So it's this year and hopefully beyond, people will be a bit more prepared and we work together to sort of help each other when these things happen. And it's been a lot of good. The focus of some of the work I'm doing here, which is interviewing lots of businesses about their experience and their feelings about the area, is to get people to think about how they can be more resilient and make their premises, businesses, in a sense, as supported and as protected as they can against future floods. I mean, when floods happen, there's very certain things you can do, but you can put a plan in place to make the building as safe as possible, and to put physical measures in place that make sure that the water doesn't cause damage to stock, and be able to communicate with each other so people know when it's likely to happen and take the right measures at the right time. Because flood water causes devastation, quite obviously, but obviously there's certain things you can do to minimise the damage.
The project is set to run for at least 6 months, with regular visits from the Yorkshire and Humber Environment Agency giving advice to small businesses.
Josh Shafi reporting for Leeds Hacks News.
After thousands of retail workers signed a petition opting for shops to close on Boxing Day, the government decided that it's up to the retailers to determine whether or not they open. Bethany Vaughan went to find out more.
The Change.org petition was created by Baker Ian Lapworth in October. It was created to put an end to the commercialisation of Christmas. Retail workers are still trying to make the government change their mind and support their cause.
I know that there wasn't, like, the shops were always open on Boxing Day, and I'm pretty sure that people can wait an extra day. When it comes to, like, hospitals and police, you know, that's a matter of life and death, whereas this, it's, you know, it's the sale can wait another day, and I can't enjoy my Christmas day knowing that I'm in work for another 8.5 hours the next day.
How long have you worked in retail?
About 5 years in total, on and off.
And how many Christmases have you worked over?
All of them.
And how many Boxing Days have you worked so far?
3. I've had 2 off so far. I'm being quite lucky.
And this year, are you working Boxing Day?
I'm not. I've got it off. I'm happy.
First time in a while, then?
Definitely is.
And what do you think about the petition that went to government about people not working Boxing Day and getting to spend more time with family over Christmas?
I'd like it to happen. Spend more time with my family would be absolutely amazing, but shops won't close. They make too much money on Boxing Day sales.
Yeah, the government's now said that they're not going to do it, they're going to leave it up to the retailers. Do you think that retailers like Thomas the Baker's not going to close at Christmas time?
No, definitely not. They make too much money. People going out for Boxing Day sales, they want something to eat. Sorted, innit?
Government research suggests more than 1 in 10 retail staff work on Boxing Day. Large shops are currently forced to close on Christmas Day and Easter Sunday under the current trading rules. I'm Bethany Vaughan reporting for Leeds Hacks News.
West Yorkshire Police are appealing for any information on a motorbike that's been stolen from an ex-soldier in Glipton. Police say the thieves broke into their house between the 4th and 7th of December. The blue Yamaha R6 is very distinctive with the Help for Heroes logo on the fuel tank and down the 2 side fairings. Anyone with information is asked to contact PC Andy Story on 101 or to call the independent charity Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111.
Can we look forward to a white Christmas? We sent our very own Lee Francis outside earlier to tell us the latest weather. If you're thinking of having a bet, he might have the answers.
Well, that's right. They've sent me to the glamorous car park here of the university to give you a detailed weather forecast and also to tell you whether or not it's going to be a white Christmas. Well, guys, I had a look at the William Hill website earlier on and the odds are currently 6-1. And Ollie in our office tells me that those odds are quite good. I'm not a betting man, but apparently, though, if the temperature goes up, the odds possibly go higher. And if the temperature goes lower, then the odds also fall. So now might be a time actually to get your bets in for a white Christmas. But generally, though, over the Christmas period, it's looking very, very mild. Similar to today, in fact, we've had mist and low cloud across the region. That's going to be clearing later in the night with lows of 6 degrees. Tomorrow, a very, very similar start. Mist and low cloud from the Pennines, clearing in the afternoon to showers, highs of 9. So again, feeling very, very mild. Well, I'm going to leave you now and get your bets in for a white Christmas, as I say, and back to the studio. That's your forecast.
Well, I'll be certainly off to the bookies after this.
I hate snow, so I will be as well. Good night from us.
Good night.